Coming up, we have stories about arguments over parties, canceling expensive gifts, turning down Halloween invites, inappropriate dancing. We also have Halloween stories, spicy mother-in-law stories, and the newest edition of the Lightning Round with Caden Thunder returns. The chicken still doesn't have his official name. And for the very first time ever, we have interactive games to play with you. Jim Hopper and Joyce. We've got Joyce from Stranger Things here as well.
Well,
it's perfect. The backdrop has been Halloweened here, including a portrait of Tony's knee up here up top. It's got Tony's knee right there. Am I the astronaut for what I, 32 female, said to my husband, 28 male? This year, I, 31 female, and my husband, 28 male, decided together to host his friends at our house again for a Halloween party. We just had it this weekend, 10/25, because we have different plans for the actual Halloween night. It was our second year hosting the party at our house, and after the party, I said some things I regret. I also said that I never want to host another party at our home. Am I the asshole for what I said, or even the way I said it? Here are the issues I brought up. One of the issues was how intensive the preparations were for me. He agrees that I, in his words, did most of the heavy lifting leading up to the party. I bought 1920s themed decorations, painted a sign for our speakeasy, hung lights, and cleaned the entire house. I do admit I have high standards for cleanliness and what the atmosphere should feel like when it comes to hosting, but I felt frustrated that I was left to do a lot of the work while he got to go to the gym or nap, and also that his office was pretty dirty before the party and he didn't clean it like we had talked about. So I did a quick clean on it before the party started. I also did not feel like everything I wanted was clean by the time the party started, so my energy was tired and a little hectic at the beginning. My second issue was the criticism and contempt I felt from him anytime I gave feedback about things he was working on for the party. As an example, he made up trivia questions and asked me to do a practice run for time. I told him a couple of times when I didn't understand a question because of the wording, and I noticed a look of genuine irritation or maybe anger across his face, which made me leave the room. He later said he didn't mean it, he was just proud of the things he worked on and apologized. He also adjusted the trivia based on my feedback. It happened a few other times leading up to the party for different things he was in charge of, though. My final issue was that we have different tolerances when it comes to hosting parties. My husband said he wishes we had a get together at our house every week to hang out with friends. He has said I don't need to put so much work into getting the house ready, but for me, our house is a reflection of us, and I need it to be generally clean for guests to come over. I'm very introverted and do not like hosting parties. I feel exhausted and do not enjoy hosting 16 of his friends at our house. The day after the party, I felt angry about the above things and told him my issues in sort of a monologue. He was quiet throughout. I finished by saying I don't want to host another party at our house ever again. I said we can rent out a room or go to another friend's house, but it's been too much on me. He said okay, and that he needs time to emotionally process things. Ever since that conversation, he has been very distant and quiet, but did assure me that he's thinking things through. I need to know if I should apologize for anything. Maybe we should have made the decision to not host together. I feel like this is a pain point for him because he absolutely loves having everyone over. I'm not sure what to do or if I'm being the asshole. I know I probably didn't deliver that ultimatum to him in the most delicate way. I'm not sure where to go from here. Am I the astronaut? Let's chat about it. Shall we? Joyce? What do you think, Joyce?
I don't think she's the asshole. I mean, we're the same way. We both want our house to be the same level. You might be a tick higher than me, but for the most part, like we both have certain expectations that we put on ourselves to host a party. And it sounds like their expectations do not match. And so there's conflict over her expectations versus his. I don't like when she said he gets to go to the gym and nap while she's preparing everything. And that may be happening because of their inequality of expectations to host. But if you are going to host, you have to rise to the occasion of the person who expects the most, if that makes sense. Like you have to be able to meet somewhere at their level. Otherwise, you're asking someone to be uncomfortable, and you do the work together leading up to the party. And it doesn't sound like he's helping as much as he should. And I don't think that she should have to ask him to help if they're hosting. And she keeps saying his friends. So if they are hosting, they are his friends, and it's not a mixed group. like she's doing this for him. I think it would be in his best interest to make a pointed attempt to help her in whatever way she needs. The week leading up to the party is going to be less stressful if you have 2 people pitching in at 100% versus just one.
So here's the question that I have, and this is probably the main issue for the majority of couples out there when it comes to division of duties and preparing for hosting some kind of gathering of any kind. Mm-hmm. You know, OP, what needs to be done. Was there ever a communication that says, here's the list of things that need to be done, here are the things I need you to take, here are the things I'm going to take? Because I seriously doubt that conversation ever happened. What probably happened is what happens with most couples, where you've got the list in your head, you're overwhelmed because of that list. His list is like one thing in his head, right? So you've got a list that you're overwhelmed about. In his mind, he may not know that he needs to step up and do all of these things. In his list, he's got his one thing that he said he would do that he didn't even do, which is a fail. But he doesn't know how much there is to do, because right now you've simplified that to you're going to take care of that stuff. And he's got this one thing. And probably based on history, he knows that you will handle it as well, right? I would urge you to start having communication before hosting for anything and be like, as long as there's a division of duties where all the stuff that needs to get done gets done, and maybe through that process you guys can agree to let some things slide too and become a little more relaxed on things, which Candy Thunder has had to help me do, because I came from, like, growing up, for me, my mom would be like shining floors before people came over, right? And still does. She still does that thing. Like we'll be like buffing floors before people show up, and it has to look like sparkle when you walk in. We got 5 kids. Like, having our place sparkle is going to be an unreasonable thing, right? So come to some kind of common ground and communicate about it. I think that's probably the biggest thing.
I think the common ground is it can't be his level. Like, it doesn't sound like his level is anything. And I understand what you're saying about the list, but communicate and have him write his own list. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
hand it back to
stop.
him.
Like, it's like what's for dinner every night, always falling like on one person. Like, it's constantly having to think about it. And it's like, if you can throw a dart in your own home and say, damn, I need to clean this up, it needs to clean. And she did ask him to clean one thing and he didn't do it. And she ended up having to do it. So, I mean, I don't think this is like I think this is her getting fed up. And these are the little things that amount to the very big things. He lives in the home. Like, he knows what it takes to get ready for a party. Help her out. And help her out and do it. Like, you know what? And like, and she did ask him to do something. She did it all and asked him to do one thing and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So
So she asked him to do the one thing. My point is here that they're doing a lot of post-event communication right now.
Yes.
They recap afterward. I think that same level of communication needs to happen before.
I agree 100%.
To game plan together. And I'd like your idea about handing it back to him.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, what stuff are you going to be handling? Am I the astronaut for uninviting my mother-in-law from my wedding after she showed up to my dress fitting in a white gown? I'm getting married in like 6 weeks and I'm losing my mind right now. Sorry this is long, but I need to know if I'm overreacting. So my mother-in-law has been weird about this wedding from the start. Little comments here and there about how quick everything is. We've been together for 4 years. Or how she wishes her son would have married someone from their church. But my fiance Jake always said she's just being protective and I should ignore it. Anyway, I had my final dress fitting scheduled for last Tuesday. It was supposed to be me, my mom, my sister, and my 2 bridesmaids. That's it. I specifically did not invite my mother-in-law because she's made comments before about my dress choice being too modern, and I just wanted one drama-free thing. Well, guess who shows up? You know what? I'm a red flag right there because she wasn't even invited and she showed up anyway. She walks in holding a garment bag and I'm like, oh no, what does she want now? She goes, I know I wasn't invited, but I thought you'd want to see what I'm wearing so we don't clash. Oh. The only thing that can clash with a white dress is another white dress, right? And before anyone can say anything, she disappears into a changing room. Y'all, she comes out in a white dress. Floor-length lace, off-white she calls it, but it's white. It's white. My mom's face went completely blank. My sister said, "You've got to be kidding me," out loud. Mother-in-law does this little spin and goes, "What do you think? I just wanted something elegant for my son's special day." I just couldn't talk. I was standing there in my wedding dress and she's next to me in basically another wedding dress. My mom asked her point blank if she realizes that's inappropriate. Mother-in-law got all offended, like, "It's champagne, not white, and besides, I'm the mother of the groom. I should be able to wear something nice." I told her she can't wear that to my wedding. She needs to pick literally any other color. She said I was being a bridezilla and that she's already had shoes and jewelry picked out and she's not buying another dress. We went back and forth and finally I said if she shows up in that dress, she's not getting in. She laughed, like actually laughed, and said, "You're not going to turn away your husband's mother on your wedding day. Don't be dramatic." She left and I had a full breakdown in the fitting room. My mom had to finish pinning my hem because I couldn't stop crying. Here's where it gets worse. I called Jake that night and told him what happened, that I'm serious about uninviting her if she won't change. He got quiet and then said, "Babe, she already bought the dress. It's not that big of a deal. Can we just let this one go?"
What? Jake.
Jake from State Farm would never. I asked him if he seriously expects me to have his mother standing next to us at our wedding in white. And he said, "It's champagne." She showed me a picture. It's really not that white. And you know how she gets. If we uninvite her, she's going to make this so much worse. So basically, he wants me to just let her wear white to our wedding to keep the peace. I told him if he's not going to handle this, then I will. And he said I'm being unreasonable and that every bride has to compromise on something. His exact words were, "It's one day. She's my mom. Just let her have this."
Oh my.
Let her have this? It's my wedding. We've been fighting ever since. He thinks I'm being dramatic. I told him if he doesn't invite her or tell her to change the dress, then I'm going to. And he said, "I'll regret causing family drama right before the wedding." My friends are all on my side, but his family is now texting me saying I'm being cruel and that I'm starting the marriage off wrong by being difficult. I'm starting to feel crazy. Like maybe I'm overreacting. It's just a dress, right? But also it's white at my wedding. So Reddit, am I the astronaut for threatening to uninvite my mother-in-law over her dress choice? Before we get into top comments, I have one question here. How is OP at this point still determined that there's gonna be a wedding happening after her fiance has behaved the way that he has behaved? Top comments. 1, you're making the wrong threat. Oh, I like this commenter already. You need to end this engagement. You know that, right? You need to call off the wedding until you know that you have a partner who actually stands by you. 2, if he can't support you on your wedding day, how do you think he'll be afterwards? It's always going to be you, him, and his mother in this relationship. Can't he see what she's doing here? Why the hell did she just show up at your gown fitting? She knew she wasn't invited, but she wanted the drama of crashing your day, so she did. To have her say you're causing drama is pretty rich, don't you think? She's feeling like she's in charge now, not you. Let him know you will refuse to walk down the aisle if she shows up in a white dress. If that happens, leave the venue with your bridesmaids and go on your honeymoon without him. He can go with his mommy. Let's chat about this.
Wow. You know the, don't start none, won't be none?
Yeah, don't start none, won't be none.
Basically, don't do it. And by I mean start one. Don't walk down the aisle. In fact, end it now because this will be the rest of your life. When you have a baby, spotlight, gone. All of it. First birthday, spotlight, gone. All of it. All of it. Christmas, gone. None of it. He will never cave. He will always choose his mom. And he is telling you that right now. And I can't even imagine entertaining the idea of going through with a wedding, because at this point, you'd be going through with it just to have a wedding because you are seeing firsthand what your marriage is going to look like. And it's not going to be fun.
A couple of comments to address here. Nancy Ramirez says, "And who told mother-in-law where the fitting was?" It had to be him. It had to.
Yeah. And I saved this comment from Magic Drop, but it said, wait. So mother-in-law, it thinks if they clash, the bride has to change.
Yeah.
She's showing up. She's like, just to make sure we don't clash. Because if we do, I'm going to need you to change your dress because mine is champagne.
Clearly, the mother-in-law gets preference at the wedding.
Right. And also, where do people find the audacity? And I say this every week, but where the do they find it?
All right. Here we go. This is OP. Said, I didn't want to put this in the main post because it makes me sound paranoid, but I need to say it. This isn't the first weird thing she's done. When we got engaged, she cried and said, "I'm losing my son." She asked Jake if he was sure about this multiple times. She accidentally called me his ex's name at Christmas.
Of course she did.
Accidentally.
Right.
And here's the thing that's been eating at me. My dress fitting was at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. I didn't post about it anywhere. I didn't tell her when it was. My mom didn't tell her. So how did she know exactly when and where to show up with a white dress already purchased and fitted? irritated. Jake keeps saying I'm reading into things. I don't think this was an accident. I think she planned this. And the fact that he won't back me up is making me feel like I'm already the problem in this family and we're not even married yet. Honestly, I'm sitting here at 4 a.m. wondering if this is what the rest of my life is gonna look like. Me versus his mom and him stuck in the middle doing nothing. I love Jake, but I'm scared. Is that normal? Should I be scared right before my wedding?
Honey, that's your gut telling you what to do, and you should listen to it.
I think, is it normal is a different question than is it okay, right? Because the fact that it's normal, like common, doesn't mean that it's good.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's a good thing. It means, yeah, you know what else is normal? Divorce. Divorce is normal. So if you want to go into this with normal, then that's something. But if you want to know if something is right, or is going to give your marriage a grim outlook, or is going to legally bind you to a hellish situation every day until you legally unbind yourself from a hellish situation. But you know what? This is step one.
Right.
OP has step one here where she's like,
I hope that, I don't know how the story was, but I'm invested. And I really, really hope that she does not marry this man.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, she doesn't marry this man and his mom, because that's basically what's happening.
My boyfriend, 28 male, has been collecting my 24 female rent for a free house. Oh no. I've been living with my boyfriend for a year. I'm a grad student, so I have very minimal income, and I'm very upset about this, but my boyfriend says he was trying to do something nice. My boyfriend and I moved in together to a house that he found. He arranged all the landlord stuff and told me to send $1,000 per month to the landlord's bank account. This is very normal rent for our area, but I could have probably spent less if I'd lived in an apartment. I've been doing so for the last year, only to find out yesterday from his mom that his parents actually own the house and they aren't charging us rent. Where's the money going? Upon hearing this, I asked my boyfriend about the $13K that he has had me send to some account, and he told me that he was doing it for me as a gift to give back later so I could see how much I've saved.
What?
Where's my bullshit button? I don't have a bullshit button yet, but I need one because I'm calling bullshit on that. Yes, let me knock the books out of your hand and then pick them up, and that's a gift as well. I'm livid. I'm not irresponsible with money. I have no debt, and I even have some savings. Over the last year, there have been things I had to miss out on because they just weren't financially feasible without this money. There have been some times when I couldn't get my tires replaced or couldn't get a new blazer to replace my threadbare one, so my boyfriend got to swoop in and save the day. It always made me feel so bad that he could live just fine on his salary, not that much higher than mine, but I couldn't live well on mine. Now I know it's because he was spending $1,000 less than I was every month. Ooh, and are you sure he wasn't spending your $1,000 a month too? Have you seen financial statements? I don't know what to do. I feel upset and uncomfortable about the whole situation, but my boyfriend won't listen to me. He keeps saying that this was supposed to be a surprise gift and I'm taking it the wrong way. I don't know what to think. Am I overreacting? Edit to clarify that his parents didn't seem to know anything about this and were under the impression that neither of us was paying rent. Yeah, once again, bullshit on him. This was not some kind of like nice thing that he was doing, and even if it was, what? Relevant comments. 1, you aren't overreacting. He broke your trust and doesn't really respect you if it's true. I'd ask for the money back now. How do you know he even still has it, really? This would be relationship ending in my book. He's treating you like a child, not a partner. OP's response, I asked for it yesterday and he got very angry. He said that if he gives it back while I'm mad at him, I'll leave him and that I owe him anyway for the times he supported me financially. FTG. I know I should pay him back some of it, but I certainly don't owe him $13K, more like $1K. Commenter 2, oh no, honey. There are so many issues here. First of all, what the are you doing just trusting your boyfriend to handle your entire living situation? You don't ever ask to see a sign or lease. You didn't ask to know the total rent or ever want to meet the landlord yourself. You have boundary and independence issues out the wang. That being said, your boyfriend literally stole your money and lied to you. He's manipulative and psycho. Immediately ask for your money back, move out, and break up with him. OP says, I signed a lease and was told that the total rent was $2K per month. I didn't sit down and read every single term because I trusted my boyfriend. Before we get to the update, let's chat about this for a second. What the
She signed a lease that said it was $2K per month.
No. She signed the lease, and her understanding was that it was $2K per month. But there wouldn't be a lease if the parents owned it. We're just letting her stay. So he concocted the lease. That's fraud.
That's intent.
That's just fraud.
Like intentionally fraudulent.
Intentionally fraudulent versus being a fake ass B.
What? What the fuck?
He's going to his buddies and he's like, dudes, I got the best business plan ever.
But also he told her she couldn't have her money while she's mad at him.
Yeah, he doesn't have it. Guarantee he doesn't have it. He's been spending that to come in, like swoop in and save the day. This is financial abuse. This is financial control. He's literally stolen this money from you. It is fraud on top of that. Take his ass to court.
His parents had no idea.
None.
That he was doing this to her.
Call him to the stand. Put him on your witness list because you...
Oh my gosh.
You had a conversation with them where they said they didn't have any clue what you were talking about. Well, there you go. Update number 1. Can I sue my boyfriend for fake rent that he took from me? I was sent here legal advice by relationships and put a more detailed post over here. My boyfriend and I moved into a house together a year ago. My boyfriend told me to deposit $1,000 per month for rent into an account for our landlord. Turns out his parents own the house and they haven't been charging either of us rent. Turns out he's been saving this money to give me as a gift later. I've seen a bank statement. Okay, so he has it. He's not a junkie. He's just financially abusive. He will not give me the money right now because he says I'll take it and leave him. During the last year, my boyfriend has helped me out a couple times financially, and he says he could just keep all the money. Although he's probably spent about $1,000 on me, not the full $13,000. I know I probably f***ed up by sending the money directly into the account. Is there a way to legally get that money back? Relevant comments. 1, did you sign a lease of any sort? If not, your boyfriend was charging you $1,000 per month in rent. It doesn't matter if he was not being charged rent himself. Shouldn't this post say ex-boyfriend? OP's response, the lease doesn't say anything about rent. I looked back at it and it basically says that we won't trash the house or move other people in. His parents didn't know about any of this, and as far as I know, it's their house, not my soon-to-be ex-boyfriend's. 2, so there was a lease and you have it in writing and it says the apartment is being rented to both of you rent-free and you and your boyfriend both signed it? OP says the lease just says nothing about paying rent. His mom is the owner of the house and I have a message from her that says she wasn't being paid rent and that neither of us were being charged.
I like how he's holding their relationship hostage. I mean, like, she's going to dump him, but he's like, I'm not going to give you the money because you're mad at me and then you'll just leave me. Dude, that's not how you stay in a relationship. That's not how you do it. Like, come on. But this guy he doesn't care. He sounds...
Who gave him this idea? Where did he cook this shit up?
Oh my gosh.
Final update 2 weeks later. I figured this merited an update. I told my ex-boyfriend I was moving out with or without the money, and he told me that if I left him, he could keep the gift for himself. I told him whatever and called his mother and told her I was leaving. She asked why, and I told her the whole story. She asked me to give her a few minutes, and then she would get back to me. I heard her call my ex in the other room and could hear her yelling at him through the phone. She called me back and told me to take pictures of the rooms. I sent them to her, and she gave me the all clear over text. She also sent me an apology for my ex's behavior. I left and thought that was that. A few days later, I got a check in the mail for $15,000 from my ex's mom. Not exactly justice, because the original money was indeed probably gone, but I walked away feeling pretty good about the whole thing.
So in this case, you had the brozo boyfriend and the amazing mother-in-law. It's a reverse, because this mother-in-law is cleaning up his messes all over the place. Dear Lord, this guy.
Not all heroes wear capes. Somewhere, I don't know.
What's the people, is it Sid and Nancy? Flippin' Nancy.
Flippin' Nancy.
They're flippin' Nancy, and this is the son.
They're like, yeah, he's the worst. We're sorry.
Yeah.
But if you marry him, we can keep hanging out.
I'm glad that she made money. Look at her investment.
Yes,
Little ROI there.
Quinzea, says, but now he never took accountability. He didn't, and that's Mama's problem, and she knows that's her problem. Yeah. But she at least made OP whole.
Yes, I hope they take the house away from him.
They've got to
teach him a little lesson
because she said to walk around and take pics of the rooms, which is part of the moving out process. Mm-hmm. So
I hope he's good. Yeah, I hope that he gets evicted by his mama.
Am I the astronaut for saying no to my friend's Halloween party invite? I, 24 female, have been really close friends with B, 24 female, since last year. We used to hang out almost every day, but she only likes going to fancy, expensive places. Whenever I said I couldn't afford it, she would insist on paying for me and never took no for an answer. Serena, my friend B. that Blair? I appreciated it at first, but the more it happened, the guiltier I felt because those bills kept adding up. And even though she rarely asked for the money back, I know one day she might, and I don't know if I could pay it. So the past few months, I started distancing myself. I made excuses like being sick, family emergencies, my dad not letting me go out, which are partly true, but mostly to stop her from pressuring me. I know she thinks I'm lying because she's a cynic and thinks people lie all the time, just because she does it too. Fast forward to this month, Halloween's coming up, and we've been planning to go out together since last year. But this year I've been struggling financially and mentally. The first few times she asked about our plans, I told her I can't afford to go since the beginning of this month. The more she asked, I also added that I'm also trying to stay sober. I haven't drunk in 6+ months and reconnect with my spirituality. Drinking again would basically undo all the progress for me. I told her this multiple times, but she didn't seem to take it seriously. Well, that's a problem. Last night, she told me that one of her friends is going to open a table at this fancy, expensive club for Halloween and will give us one free bottle. She thought this would solve my financial issue. I told her I still can't come because I don't want to drink anymore. She kept pressuring me because she doesn't know who else to invite. One of her friends said no because she's also trying to be sober, and she hasn't asked any of her other friends because she just doesn't feel like it. This morning, after I didn't respond to her text that mostly consisted of her pressuring me to go, she sent me lots of angry texts about how I never want to hang out anymore and how she's always the one making the effort and how I don't have time for her, etc. Then she blocked me on social media and stopped responding to my text altogether. Now I'm wondering if I'm the asshole for constantly saying no or for avoiding her. So, am I the astronaut? Partway through the story, I was going to be like, tell the truth about why you don't want to go. And then if she's still pressuring you after you tell the truth, then it's going to be on her. But so long as you're just like leading her on, kind of, that's a shitty thing to do. But no, you were perfectly upfront with her and you're like, I don't want to drink. Yep. And I can't afford it. And she's like, bitch, come on.
Yeah, no, OP is NTA. No means no. I mean, that no is a complete sentence. Like you said no, that you don't even have to provide a reason about not wanting to drink or money, all of these things. Like, no means no. I do think that in the beginning, I mean, she sounds like an asshole either way, but in the beginning saying, I'm distancing myself because of this, and then like you cut that tie and you don't have to worry about the leading on or all of the stuff like hanging over your head. You've officially said this is not something that I want to do, and I'm distancing myself from this, and do with that information what you want. But I think NTA for me.
Or, so the distancing part was kind of driven by some guilt and some shame, and you felt that was the only solution to get away from the problem, and the problem was being like her covering for you at these expensive places, right? I think the even better play is to say, this makes me uncomfortable. Yeah. It makes me uncomfortable when. Can we please go to McDonald's or whatever?
Right, yeah.
But can we please go to somewhere that isn't going to make me feel like you're the queen taking someone from Flea Bottom out for a charity meal?
Yeah, and you are
please do that.
100% not the asshole for feeling that way, and to feel like your friend is taking you out, doing the things that she wants to do because you can't afford the other things, but never meeting you like halfway in your friendship and going, like you said, going to McDonald's and doing something that allows you to feel comfortable or not like you're financially being taken care of by this friend. Yeah. Like it's a paid friendship is what she was essentially making it feel like. And so,
which
NGA, 100%.
Gives a little bit of like early David Rose, like friends are on payroll, like hired actors, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for this ex-friend, I do agree, her messing with your sobriety is enough. Like that alone is enough to like, it's an immediate no contact. Sorry, we're done. Can't ever trust you again. That's a BFD. Lightning round stories. We got to get Tony and Candy Thunder ready with timers there. Okay. You guys ready for me? Well, I guess you only need the timer for feedback. So, and I have a very special guest for this segment. We have Caden Thunder here.
What's the big deal?
Here's the first lightning round story. Am I the astronaut for getting irritated about my Halloween candy? I put out a Halloween candy bowl at work a couple of weeks ago, and it's been wildly popular. I've had to buy $140 worth of candy so far, and I'm about empty again. I'm happy to do that, though. What annoys me is that some people have found my stash of extra candy and have been going into my desk drawer if I don't have any of their favorite candy out. It's bad enough to have people rooting through all my stuff trying to find a tool or something. I'm an engineer and work in a lab. But for candy, Tell me I'm not the asshole here. Edit! I have hidden stashes in a locked cabinet and left only Starburst out for a while, the least popular candy, so there are many of them left. I'm still happy to supply candy, but on my terms, not anybody else's. All right, Caden Thunder, thoughts, go.
I like Starbursts.
End of story. Look, you're donating the candy. You have the right to approach this however you want, so you're going to have to just lock it. Lock the cabinet.
You could give them fake teeth if you wanted.
Okay, and like put a note out there and be like, hey, this is the candy that's available. If you abuse this system, all the candy will go away. Treat them like toddlers because that's how they're acting.
And shout out Starbursts.
Shout out Starburst. What's your favorite Starburst color?
Orange.
Pink. Does anybody like the yellow Starburst?
Yeah.
Orange.
I like the yellow.
The chicken has gone off. All right, here's story number 2. Am I the astronaut for not splitting my lottery win evenly with my boyfriend after I bought the ticket? My boyfriend, 27 male, and I, 26 female, were at a gas station, and I bought a scratch-off ticket for fun. I used my own money. I ended up winning $1,000. When I told him, he said, oh, nice, we can use it for a weekend trip. I said I was planning to save it for bills since it was technically my ticket. He got offended and said, so we're not sharing now? For context, we've been dating for a year, don't live together, and don't share finances. I offered to treat him to dinner to celebrate, but he called me selfish. Am I the astronaut for not splitting the money evenly? Thoughts?
No. Not my prerogative or parlay.
Whose chair is that? Not
Whatever
my chair,
Ace
not my
said.
problem. No. Presence does not equal ownership. He wasn't even was he standing at the counter with you? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You bought the ticket. You have video proof that you bought the ticket because there's security cameras at every gas station. So there's proof that he was no way involved in this. Tell him to take you to small claims court if he wants to. Also, he's a dickbag.
Yeah.
Will I be the astronaut for telling my coworker to stop announcing my lunch choices? This feels weird. I eat lunch at my desk because I like peace and quiet. My coworker has this habit of loudly commenting on whatever I eat. Stuff like, ooh, someone's eating healthy today. Or, wow, that smells strong. Or, you really love pasta, huh? It's small talk, I get it, but it's every single day. It makes me self-conscious. I've been thinking of politely saying something like, hey, I'd appreciate it if you didn't comment on my food every day, but my partner said it might come off rude since he's probably just trying to be friendly. Would I be the jerk if I said something?
No. I don't know. Okay. Well, look, I like announcing things too, and it's not anything.
What? What do you like announcing?
I announce things all the time at the office. Like if you walk in with some soup, I'd be like, look who's got some soup.
I just pooped!
Oh boy, soup boy. My pickle just came undone.
No, I feel like this is a weird thing. Only get an actual microphone, right? Be like, Dave is sitting at his desk again. Dave. Damn it. Here's the next story. Am I the astronaut for taking down my neighbor's haunted decorations after they kept scaring my dog? My neighbor went all out for Halloween. Motion sensor ghosts, screaming skeletons, the whole deal. Problem is, one of the decorations screamed every time someone walked past, and my dog lost his mind every night. I asked if they could turn the sound off after 10 p.m., and they laughed it off, saying it was part of the fun. After 3 nights of no sleep, I finally unplugged the ghost while they were at work. They noticed immediately and posted in our neighborhood face group about the Halloween Grinch. Now everybody's saying that I ruined the spooky spirit. Am I the astronaut?
So wait, was this on Halloween or after Halloween?
It was well leading up to Halloween.
Oh yeah, screw you. It's Halloween. If
it's making noise after 10 p.m.
Look, tough cookies. The world's a hard place. It's Halloween. Just get some earplugs, man. And that might make me an ASCON, but I'm a pickle, so what can you do?
Here's my deal. Look, if you had a problem with it, and if it was driving our dogs nuts, and it was happening every night, I would check the local sound ordinances. Okay. There's a right and wrong way to go about it. You shouldn't touch other people's shit. Check your
true.
ordinances and go from there.
There's 2 times per the year when you can do loud noise, though. It's Halloween and it's 4th of July.
I don't think that's legally accurate at all. Here's our last one, the final lightning round story. Am I the astronaut for refusing to let my coworker get a bite of my lunch every day after I shared once? Not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm a pretty decent cook. My food tastes and smells good, and I love to share my cooking with others as it brings me joy. However, it's been a bit of an issue around lunchtime at work. I don't usually cook for my coworkers, as this is my personal hobby. If I'm cooking for them, we plan it out so that everyone knows there's going to be food in the break room. These situations, obviously, I intend to share. I let one of my coworkers get a bite of my lunch once on a day. I did not bring food in for everyone. I figured, why not? Big mistake. Now every day they come by to get a bite of my lunch. I'm not rude about it and just say no, but it's getting a little weird with it being a daily thing now. Wait, OP says I'm not rude about it and just say no? Does OP mean that saying no would be rude? Like they give this person the bite every time or they say no every time? I'm confused about that.
Here comes the airplane.
They just got it waiting whenever they show up. Now they're like, here's your daily nibble.
Brought you a pickle.
Say no. Say like, I didn't bring enough this time. And then say that every time. Sorry, I didn't bring enough. Sorry, I didn't bring enough. Sorry, I didn't bring enough.
I give them like
Give
fake
up eventually.
oatmeal. It's the worst.
Set that boundary. Yeah, you should say no. I can't tell from that statement. I'm not rude about it and just say no. But it's getting a little weird about it being daily.
I think the
don't
implication
they're
is
saying
that he's not rude about it, so he doesn't say no.
no. That's what I got too. Tell you what, every time this guy or this person comes by and asks for a bite, squeeze that chicken. They'll go away.
Squeeze them. The chicken.
Squeeze all the air out of that thing. It gives them a much more painful scream. So that's what you've been hearing today.
I was reading the comments and you guys are phenomenal. So thank you for liking my pickle costume.
The way that your pickle is vibrating.
Up and down?
Yeah.
I was doing that the whole time.
I'm questioning what your costume really is here.
Pickle the litter.
Pickle the litter. Am I the astronaut? My fiance danced with another woman at a wedding. Am I overreacting or was this totally inappropriate? Hey everyone, I'm 31 female, went to my fiance's 30 male friend's wedding over the weekend. He was part of the groom's party, so I expected he'd be busy with photos and speeches, which was fine. But later that night, I saw something that really upset me. The groom's sister, whom my fiance has known since he was about 15, who's older than him, was dancing with him. Not in a casual or friendly way either. She was grinding on him, and at one point she jumped up, wrapped her legs around him, and he spun her around. This was not the dancing that I was envisioning. For context, she's married and has kids. Before that even happened, she actually came up to me and said, "Oh, I hope you don't hate me. I don't want your boyfriend's Willie. I've known him since he was 15. He's like a brother to me." But she said it in this really condescending tone, and it honestly just rubbed me the wrong way. Earlier in the night, I had already spoken to my fiance and told him that her dancing was making me uncomfortable. He brushed it off and said there was nothing to it. She's basically family. Then later, the leg wrapping thing happened after that conversation, which honestly just made it feel worse. When I brought it up again the next day after we got home, he said he agreed that a boundary was crossed, apologized, and told me he doesn't want to ever talk about it again. I f***ed up. We should never talk about this again. I just don't know how to feel. To me, it felt completely inappropriate and disrespectful, especially since he knew I was there and had already told him it made me uncomfortable. But he's making me feel like I should just drop it. They were both drunk, but to me, that is not an excuse. Would you consider this cheating or at least crossing a major boundary? Am I being too sensitive for feeling hurt by it? Thoughts?
I mean, I wouldn't dance with my brother like that. And he said he viewed her as a sister. So would you dance with your sister like that?
No! Ooh, David.
This is NTA for me. I don't like it. I don't like a brother.
I don't know if this was like shooting your shot for both of them or just for her or what, but it was.
Well, I mean, he has a fiance. She's married, and other people may feel differently, and that's totally okay. But I don't. I think the grinding and the wrapping legs around someone who is engaged and I'm married is crossing a line. I think that's a little too. If you're a professional dancer and you're doing this, then that's fine. But
you better be getting some ones out of it. Then
you don't be. This isn't a
10s or 20s, maybe.
Well, if you're a professional dancer, like I don't mean like that. I mean like Dancing with the Stars. Like
I don't think you would see that on. I mean, this did not sound like.
This sounds very wrong. Like
this did not sound like a ghost of the Pasadole. This sounded like just straight up like dry humping on the dance floor.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
To a beat.
I wouldn't do this. Like. I wouldn't do this if I loved and respected my partner. So
no, and I think that's the kicker.
It gives me
more importantly than like how we feel if this would be done to us. We would never do this to our partner, and most of us would say that. I think that's the bigger issue here. So now you have to have the conversation about what is generally okay and not okay.
How do you feel about it did cross a line, but I don't ever want to talk about it again? Was he grossed out by it? Was he like, he felt the line was crossed too, but I mean.
He's acting like she was the only one that crossed a line, though.
You can't make a mistake and then not talk about the mistake and say, like, moving forward, like, makes me uncomfortable and we need to talk about it.
Yes.
Like, in order to define the boundaries of our relationship. This is a boundary.
Yeah.
You dry humping someone at a wedding, boundary.
Just
Another woman wrapping her legs around your waist, boundary.
Yeah. Would you call that a rap dance?
This is why we're married.
Will I be the astronaut if I called and canceled my fiance's gift to me because it's way too expensive? My soon-to-be wife has a bad spending habit. She is addicted to buying gifts for other people. She knows it is a problem and plans to start therapy soon. I told her that before we got married, she needs to have zero debt. I just bought a house, so I'm already managing that. A few years after we started dating, she got her first credit card and went wild for Christmas and her brother's 18th birthday. She spent about $1,000 and struggled to pay it off, so I lent her the money to close the account. She eventually paid me back the $700, but before she was even done paying me, she secretly opened another card. One day I checked her phone to see how the credit card was doing and found another bank app. It was a completely different card with a $6,000 balance, maxed out. I was furious. That was a huge lie by omission, especially since she still owed me money. 6 months later, she had only paid about $500 off of that card. We talked about it for a long time and agreed that she is not allowed to have normal credit cards anymore, only a secured card to rebuild her credit. But I never said anything about payment plans. Recently, she told me she had a surprise gift for me that she got on sale. I did not press her on the cost because I assumed she knew better by now. After it happened, she came home acting nervous and sick. The next day, she told me it was a boudoir photo shoot she did as a gift for me. She said the studio promised her a discount, but the final cost ballooned once she was there. The shoot itself was discounted, but the photos, which were digital and not even physical prints, cost $3,000. She claimed she did not know that up front and broke down crying at the studio. They set her up on payment plan so she could pay it off and get the pictures later. Here's the thing, I never asked her to do anything like this for me. The only gifts I want from her are experiences we can share, like trips, concerts, or dinner. I asked her if there was any way to cancel it because I do not want her spending that much, but she said she signed a contract and it's non-refundable. Not sure I believe that. She's ashamed and feels awful, but she also said the shoot made her feel beautiful, so I know she wants those photos. I told her we could have done something similar at home for free. If she sticks to the payment plan, it will take her about 2.5 years to pay it off. We were planning to get married in 28, but now I'm not sure that is happening. Would I be the asshole if I called the studio, demanded they cancel the payment plan, paid them a fair amount for the time they spent, and shut this whole thing down? Just to be clear, I'm not looking for advice to break up. This is one part of a much bigger picture. She has a lot of amazing qualities and I have plenty of reasons to love her. This is just a major issue that needs to be handled before marriage. If I did a boudoir photo shoot for you, is that something you would enjoy?
We'll talk about it later. NTA, and no, he is right. This is something that needs to be handled because spending like this on credit, this is what they're designed to do, to strap you in, to make you think you can spend this money, and I don't think you're gonna have any luck canceling though. If she did, some places like that do have contracts and they're pretty clear cut to avoid this type of situation. But
you could get a copy of that contract though.
She does need therapy because spending like this, it's not something that you can do long term. It's not something that she can do long term without tanking your ability to buy a house together in the future, or your ability to need to upgrade a car if that time comes. These things are going to impact your life once you are legally married. So I do think it is something that needs to be handled, like spending outside of your means, stuff like this. It is an addiction and it can become an addicting behavior. And so
you need to address it, but you need to address it together.
Yes, I agree. And I think he's right. She's doing therapy. She needs therapy to figure out why she's doing this. What triggered this? Where is this coming from? But if you want to save the relationship, I think you're going to need firmer boundaries moving forward to fix the issue that she's having.
Yeah. Am I the astronaut for being upset with a friend for not delivering our wedding pictures in time? I, male 28, and my wife, female 27, got married this June. The wedding was absolutely perfect in every way. I asked my very close friend, let's call him John, male 29, to be our wedding photographer. John has unfortunately been quite sick the last couple of years, struggling with inflammatory bowel disease. He's quit his studies, his job, etc., but in the last years, he started doing some work as a wedding photographer. Him agreeing to take our pictures would mean a lot to me, as he would be a big part of our special day, in addition to being a groomsman. Well, I don't know if you can be a groomsman and a wedding photographer. That doesn't make sense. It is important to highlight that when asking, I specifically told John that while having him as a photographer would be very special to us, I did not want him to agree at the expense of his health. The most important thing was for him to be at our wedding as our guest, sharing our special day. John told us that he would love to take our pictures. We had a contract signed with pay and with expected delivery of pictures early September, 12 weeks after the wedding. The day was amazing and we had such a great time. And then silence. September was getting close and we heard nothing about the pictures. The week before deadline, I asked him for an update. He was not finished, but sent over a few samples, about 10 pictures, and would finish the rest within a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks passed and still nothing. No updates, no word. Me and my wife decided not to bother him as his own wedding was approaching, and we did not want to stress him out further. After his wedding, a destination wedding, I was the best man, still nothing. Last night I asked John if he had gotten any closer to finishing our pictures, as we, among other things, were planning to use some of them as Christmas gifts to our family. His answer, he had done no editing since the beginning of September and was now leaving for his honeymoon, meaning the pictures would be finished in January at the earliest. This is where I might be the asshole. I sent John quite a long message expressing our disappointment and frustration with both the delay, but mainly the lack of communication. Our pictures being 4 months delayed with no updates along the way is not okay. We're no longer looking forward to seeing the pictures, but rather stressing about whether or not we will receive them at all. John responded this morning. He told me that the stress of our wedding, my bachelor party, and taking our pictures has been making him sick and burnt out, and that he has sacrificed the last 6 months of his life to help us. He is accusing me of ruining their honeymoon for expressing my disappointment now and not later, and not caring about his well-being. He says that I should text him more often to ask how he is doing, etc. For context, I've spent the last 3 months in compulsory military service with almost no time. I have seen my pregnant wife 3 times, one of those times at John's wedding. So, am I the astronaut? Edit, we had help from another photographer for the ceremony. John was the photographer in no less than 7 weddings this summer. Ours was the first of many. So because he was the best man, a different photographer was there for the ceremony, but John did all the rest of the photos. So like all reception.
Yeah, but
before, after everything.
This is the part that solidifies NTA for me, because I can understand that he was sick and he took on the job, but he also took on 7 more weddings.
So
you can't say
have
that
those people received their photos?
I don't know, but you can't say that he spent the last 6 months of his life sacrificing for your friend when you've taken on 7 other weddings. Like, that negates any argument you have of using, like, that's a lot of work. Like, that is a lot of work as far as editing goes, as far as taking the pictures. And unless you don't have like a specified plan, a system in place, like, that editing time is going to struggle. And this was his first one. So there were 7 others. That was 8 weddings. And if you, just speaking from experience, like photographer, if you don't have a system in place to get that done, like that is going to pile up. That is going to pile up bad.
So I'm going to go on a limb here and say he hasn't done anybody's yet. And he's about to get sued by 7 people, by 7 couples. I mean, they signed a contract and he took pay, and I understand that he is sick. I can't speak on IBS because I don't have it. It's not something that I have experience with, but I'm just stuck on the fact that he took 8 weddings knowing that he was sick, and he also had his own wedding coming up. I just feel like he took on way too much, and the stress of taking all of that on and not finishing more, like in between the other weddings, finishing the editing, has put him in a hard place. And so like the procrastination of it is now just probably way more stressful than the actual job of editing the photos. This guy, that's the bottom line.
Okay.
You are a business owner. Your customer doesn't give a single shit what is going on with you. Shit's gonna happen, but when you don't communicate, you signal that you know what you're doing is wrong. You know that you're here. That's why you're keeping it a secret. That's why you didn't send any updates about not feeling well and about not doing these things, which I don't even buy at the moment, because there's no trust. You've burned what trust was there. OP, you gave your pal here 4 months past the agreed upon contract signed deadline.
And
you still have a business to run. So here's the flip. Here's the flip that would prove if this logic makes sense to OP's buddy here. Okay, pal, would you be okay if I was 4 months, if it had been 4 months since the wedding and I still hadn't paid you?
yeah.
Would that be okay? 4 months past the agreed upon time, we're supposed to let each other slide on things because we're pals, right? Okay. Would that be okay? Because I don't think this balances out at all.
Oh, and I guess he said IBD, not IBS. And I agree. Like, I know that stress can exacerbate symptoms of
inflammatory bowel disease. Yeah. Not irritable bowel syndrome.
It can change your entire body. So adding more stress, you are not the asshole, OP.
No.
Him not delivering the photos with
it's the lack of communication.
With no communication about what is going on and taking on 7 other weddings. Like, this is all 100%. This is on him.
It's a business owner fail.
And I saw the comments were going really fast, but I saw someone say he needed the money from those 8 weddings for his wedding. And that makes the most sense. He took the money, but didn't.
Oh.
And the crazy thing,
is going to spend the next year editing.
As a master procrastinator, the craziest thing is that when you do it, like, the relief that you feel is insane compared to the stress that you feel while it hangs over your head.
When you punt.
And I cannot imagine the feeling of having 8 weddings of editing hanging over my head. Like, the stress this man must feel is no doubt making him much more sick than he is, because that amount of stress would be insane.
Hey, Dusty Thunder here, and I wanted to thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that content, and if you did, please make sure to like, subscribe, and most importantly, share. Also, you can find swag and so much more at dusty-thunder.com, and you'll find even more content on all of our platforms. We're on TikTok, YouTube. We now have an official Facebook page that we'll be posting stories to as well. We have podcasts on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and so much more. You can see all of our content platforms on Linktree, which is linked in my bio. Engage with us wherever you're enjoying content, and do your best to avoid the Askonauts today. Thanks again.